Hello and welcome to my Unit 2 lab assignment. This turned out to take a lot longer to make than I was expecting, and I apologize for turning it in so late. I've been juggling so many classes and sleeping during the day, so I've been very tired and lacking. But now I have it done, and it's finally turned in. So let's get on with the video. Also, this is my first time scripting, so I apologize if anything is off. Nightmares 1 and 2. Little Nightmares is an immersive adventure RPG game that not only highlights fears as a youth, but the lore in the game is beyond compare. Depending on which game you play, whether it be the first game, second game, or the DLC, you play as Six, Mono, and the runaway kid. You travel on a 3D plane where you dodge and battle monsters and complete chapters. I think this game is best played on controller, but you can find it on Steam as well. This would be a good place to start, with its intense moments and amazing graphics. The characters are children between the ages of 6 and 10. I think the most challenging thing about this game is either staying in a straight line, or having to evade and quietly dodge the different monsters. I chose this game above all because the graphics and gameplay is truly something. For my second game, I chose Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 is an action game where you can play as Nero, V, or Dante. You travel through the city defeating different demons and collecting orbs to spend and regain life. This game is good for when you can play the controller without having to repeatedly look at it, because once you enter a battle, the section closes off and you instantly have to spar against 5 to 10 demons at a time. I think the best thing about this game would be the detailing in the designs. The most challenging thing about this game would probably be the camera panning and moving around, because if you upgrade your character onto speed, things can get a little confusing. And if you play the game, you know what I mean. I don't really feel like getting into it right now. If you want a classic RPG game, Undertale is the best way to go. Not only is it a classic pixel style, but it also strongly puts in the butterfly effect and the whole your actions have consequences thing. You play as a child named Frisk, and you travel the underground with the help of Toriel, Sans, and Papyrus. You can play either pacifist mode or genocide mode, but once you restart, your actions will still remain. You may start the game over, but if you took the genocide route, it's still going to have effect. There is no actually restarting the game unless you actually delete the game and download it again. My favorite part about this is just the complex gameplay. It might look like something small and simple, but actually, it is phenomenal and one of the best games ever made. This is one of the best games to start with. It's simple, it's easy, you interact with characters, and all in all, it's just amazing. Game that is absolutely hilarious to see other people play it. What's so funny about it is when people are playing it, they're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and they go to do something, and next thing I know, they forget they had something on the stove and it blows up, or they are trying to grab something and it breaks or falls down, and they just get game rage, and it's hilarious to see. To be honest, I think Daz Games was like the funniest person I've ever seen do it. But I would really like to see Gordon Ramsay doing it, cause who doesn't want to see that? I think the good thing about this game, again, it's just the graphics, but the most challenging thing is at the actual gameplay, cause it's so frustrating and annoying, and most likely to have people rage quit. You are in a kitchen and you have to create certain orders without blowing the kitchen up. I wouldn't say this game is a good place to start, because it will give off a bad impression and just make people rage quit, like I said. So this would be a game where you start later on in your gaming experience. If you want a really good rhythm game, Beat Saber is probably the best one. It's a VR music game where you have blocks come at you while music is playing and you hit them to the rhythm. But the complex thing about it is you have to go certain ways and it will show you on the blocks. If there's an up arrow, you have to hit the block from the bottom to top. If there's a down arrow, you have to hit it from the top to the bottom. And if there's a circle, you can hit it anyway. The same way goes for side arrows. But there are so many songs that you can download, and the colorization and just the graphics again is just amazing. I know I'm saying a lot with the graphics, but I rest my case, these graphics are amazing. The most complex thing would probably just be the levels and keeping in time with the music. Depending on the level, this is a more intense game, but anybody can play it, they just need to practice. For sports games, the one I like the most is Rocket League. I know, very typical or not very sophisticated, but I'm not a big fan of sports, so that's just the only one I play, and I rarely play it at all. You can play tutorials by yourself or with a group of people, whether you know them or not. To put it easily, it's soccer with cars, and that's pretty much all you get out of it. It's fun at first, but it can be pretty boring, and I think the only fun thing to do there is just tricks. To me, the most appealing thing about this game is the music. This is one of those games for people who like Fortnite and stuff, and for people who don't enjoy intense gameplay and just want something calm and sober. I think I speak for everyone when I say Coolmath is one of the best learning sites, because not only do you have actual learning in math-based or science-based games, but you also have fun games like Run and Red Ball and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure most of the people I know grew up on this site, so yeah. The best thing about this website is it disguises the learning games as something fun that young children will actually want to commit and do, and it kind of tricks the brain into saying, oh, this is just another game, when in fact, you're learning something. But the most challenging would be keeping the stats and not getting frustrated when you lose something. For a puzzle game, I chose 2048. This is an addition sort of game. You have to add things together to achieve 2048. What I like best about this game is the simplicity of it, nothing too complex or hard, just simple, move the keys and add things together. The most challenging thing, however, would be to actually achieve 2048. This is a perfect game for just chilling and for like if you're in class and you're just bored and have nothing to do, just open up the browser and play it, simple as that. For these next two games, I have no experience playing them. I have never seen them before. I am simply going off descriptions. Probability Zero is a survival-styled indie game. A direct quote from Steam would be, never reach the bottom of the pit, that is Probability Zero. The game is different every time you die, the enemies you fight, the landscape you climb, and the body you inhabit. Never survive, but find your way deeper than you did last time. The description claims it to be a downward-scrolling infinite arcade platformer. There are a million ways to fight for survival. Judgment based off the image and the description. I think this will be a very fun indie game, but very frustrating to new players. So, this would be for someone more skilled with a controller or a keypad. For strategy game, I chose Civilization VI. Now, I never liked these kinds of games because they just never seemed that appealing to me, but I know people who would love to play a game like this. Wikipedia says Civilization VI is a turn-based strategy video game in which one or more players compete alongside computer-controlled AI opponents to grow their individual side validation from a small tribe to control the entire planet across several periods of development. So, I'm guessing this is kind of game where people would build up their society and advance to build up. I think this will be a good game for like mobile players and stuff like that. I think the most appealing thing about this to people would be just the gameplay. Anyway, that was my presentation for my Unit 2 lab assignments that I finally turned in. This gave me good practice for a YouTube video and a good way for me to expand in my assignment making stuff. I don't know what to call this anyway. Thanks, goodbye. Last minute edit. I forget to say that Little Nightmares is my favorite game to play. It passes time and really keeps you immersed. Forgot I had to put that into my project, lol.